And we are joined this morning by Elizabeth McCarthy, who is president and CEO of the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, and Chip Pelix, who is president and founder of America's Grow-A-Row. October 1st marks the start of Hunger Action Month, and New Jersey's 5 food banks are teaming up to raise awareness and fight food insecurity head on. One major effort is a statewide collaboration with Grow-A-Row, a New Jersey farm donating over 1 million pounds of fresh produce to local food banks. The goal, of course, make sure healthy fruits and veggies reach 1.1 million residents across the state struggling with hunger. Good morning to Elizabeth and Chip. Good to have you both on the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Scott.
You bet. It is, we tend to get involved in our own lives and we forget that there are so many of our fellow New Jersey residents struggling with hunger. And we think about it more, maybe Thanksgiving, and we forget they have to eat 365 days. So let's talk about the hunger crisis. Elizabeth, how big is it in New Jersey right now?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it's over 1 million people and over 270,000 children. So food insecurity really is at an all-time high. I think that's surprising to people in a state like New Jersey that is kind of a wealthier state. People don't really think of their neighbors as being hungry, but it's every community in New Jersey struggles with this.
Yeah, and 1 in 9 residents, I'm seeing the statistic, is food insecure. So that doesn't always mean that they have absolutely nothing to eat, but it could mean that food might be sharing one tiny, what should be a meal for one, or having no vegetables, or so a meal might be a bag of chips, right? So I mean, it really, how does that look like? Does it differ like that from family to family who's food insecure?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You really nailed it. I mean, it's about having consistent access to healthy food. So we know that for kids to thrive in school, for adults to be able to work well, you need healthy food that's really going to fuel your body and keep you going, not just bag of chips or junk food.
And ironically, we have a man sitting next to you whose name is Chip. No, no link, no link to the chips there. But Chip, you make sure that people get good, healthful food with fresh produce. So talk about how important it is to have fresh produce on a regular basis.
It's critical, and really, as Elizabeth mentioned, you need healthy food in order really to be productive. So our role here is to make sure that it's not just food, but healthy food that improves the health and overall well-being of those folks that we serve. And we do that through our farm here, where we have um, you know 423 acres in the state, and we're delivering and harvesting 4 million pounds of produce for those folks who need it the most. Yeah.
Yeah. And the good news about New Jersey, because I'm originally from lower New York State, our soil in this state is awesome. When I first moved here and I planted a garden, I was amazed by how beautiful the vegetation comes up, the vegetables, the tomato. And we call them Jersey tomatoes. I think they're the best tomatoes in the whole country. Maybe California is a close second. But we do grow beautifully in this state, and we need to take more advantage of it to help people who desperately need that food. Explain how the partnership with America's Grow-A-Row came together first.
Sure. If we just go back in history, when Kathleen DeChara, who was the founder of the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, and I had a meeting, both founders, and we both recognized that, again, back in the day, it wasn't just about food, but healthy food, and how could we partner? And so we met and we had some discussions. We worked together, able to build a wonderful foundation. And since then, we have been working with our great partners, of course, Elizabeth and her team, helping us to get the food out. Our role is to bring the food to the front stoop, if you will, and the food bank comes by, they pick it up, and they distribute it to their agency. So it's a great relationship. Again, we're the beginning of the food chain, but we're only a partner. We are not the solution, but we are part of the solution with great partners who we work with.
Yeah. So this kind of statewide collaboration among all the food banks must be really good because I know I used to work with, there's a whole, well, I could go down the list. I don't want to leave anyone out, but there was a group I used to work for or work with out of Tenafly, New Jersey, northern New Jersey, Table to Table. I'm sure you know who Table to Table is. Wonderful. awesome organization. And there's, I know ShopRite supermarkets in northern New Jersey, they donate refrigerated trucks so that you can get food delivered. I mean, we have awesome people in this state, thankfully, but the need keeps growing. That's the problem. It's not like, well, we took care of the problem, hunger's over. So you really need this kind of statewide collaboration. All the food banks are trying to do their thing, and it's nice that you could help bring them all together because they're all the goal for all of them. It's not competition. The goal for all of them is to feed people who need food. What can viewers do during Hunger Action Month in order to help out?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to get involved, and we really encourage people. If you go to our website, cfbnj.org, you can volunteer, you can donate, you can advocate. If you follow our social media, you'll find ways to have your voice be heard, to let your elected officials know that this is an important topic to you. But also just you can volunteer, sign up for a shift either at the community food bank or at Grow a Row. We both really rely on volunteers from the communities. So it's a great opportunity for people to really get in, give back, and children can do it too, which is a great opportunity to really have your kids know from early on that they can be part of the solution.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't care who you are, what walk of life you're from. There's innate and just part of being human. Everyone knows what a little tiny bit of hunger feels like. Just a little, like I'm hungry for lunch. That is not what we're talking about here. We're talking about people who may not eat, and they are sub-nutrified on a daily basis in many cases. And that should never happen. Not in this society where we have so much of an abundance in this country. Nobody should be in that circumstances. And I think this is what it plays on everybody's senses. If you are human and you have a heart, you can't let anyone say, I may not want to donate cash, but you can come and eat at my table anytime you want. How do you possibly get over 1 million pounds of produce on that scale? How do you grow and deliver that much produce?
Well, we're heavily volunteer based, and that's a great thing about this program, Ken. As you mentioned about about the heart of giving back and that innate feeling. There's an innate feeling of people coming out to the farm as well. So there's a lot of excitement. People want to come out here and volunteer on the farm. Our 14,000 volunteers play a critical role. They're the backbone and the lifeblood of what we do here. We do have a farm team, but our volunteers harvest around 85 to 90% of all the 4 million pounds a year in total that we harvest and distribute. And so, yeah, it's a great opportunity. If anyone wants to go to our website to help us, because we certainly have a long ways to go for the balance of the season. But it's all harvested on a daily basis. We have the Community Food Bank of New Jersey food bank trucks that come in, on a weekly basis, and we also have other food banks across the state. And now we're working with the MARC, which is the Mid-Atlantic Regional Co-op, where they're able to take more of our produce. And this is like the big win, is that we've always been challenged that we have so much produce in such a short period of time. How do we distribute that across the state evenly? And so 35% of our produce remain in the state, but we really want 50%. So with this collaborative effort across the food banks and the MARC and America's Grow a Row, we're proud to say that now 55% of our produce is going to stay in state. That's an incremental 1 million pounds to help the residents, the 1 in 9, that Elizabeth mentioned before.
Just amazing. That's an amazing amount. We're out of time right now, but I want to make sure we get your website up. What is your website address?
americasgrowarow.org
and cfbnj.org.
There you go. Help out. We desperately, year-round, 365 days, they need help. It's not just a Thanksgiving issue. Elizabeth McCarthy, President and CEO of the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, CFB, and Chip Pelex, President and founder of America's Grow a Row. God bless you both for what you do, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You bet.